Well, you won't get a lemon from Toyota of Orange.
Wrestling buddies want to be your buddies.
Drug-free's the way to be.
What do you think you're doing?
Well, Miss Musso, we were just doing a promo.
Welcome to Home Wrestling League.
I am Penny Dreadful, joined by Druna Gimmick Needed Bradley and Crystal the Casual at the Unicorn Sandboard, and this is Home Wrestling League, and welcome to our Jack Perry Presents WrestleMania 40 Extravaganza.
Don't cry me a river.
Every time I see that joke, it makes me laugh.
Presented by Dude Wipes.
Scapegoats presented by Dude Wipes. Oh my God. Those sponsors were just so much. WWE's in a new place. Vince is gone. But they'll always find a way to racially dog whistle. So if you're Latin, it's agua frescas. If you are a DEI, you got wings, you got vodka, you got gin and juice with Snoop. Everybody else, wash your ass.
Like they reserved that for the non-ethnic people, shall we say?
Yes. I'm going to take a moment here. We have a special guest with us again today because he's going to heaven. And that's why he comes on this show where we're nobodies, but he does it because he's nice. He's one half of Jade and XD, the Blackest show about nothing. You've also heard him on The Read and Friendzone. He also has a Substack, which you should all definitely subscribe to. Every time I see, what's old girl's name? Jane Goodall, I do this. Like Jacob, like come on, Jane Goodall, doing the good science work. He's been on YouTube for longer than any of your faves. He's an all-around bad bitch. He's Xavier Jello, and he's here to talk with us about WrestleMania 40. What do you think of the weekend?
Thank you for having me. I am here to talk about wrestling.
Oh, and the good old time we all had this weekend.
I had a wang dang doodle.
Right, they got it right this year. They did their big one.
For the most part.
Yeah.
There's some things that we can discuss that could have been done a little bit better.
Oh yes. We'll
get
about a rum.
I think we all know what you're going to talk about, but we all
absolutely.
Everybody talks about it too. But
first NXT real quick had their sleeper first black man male event in 23 years, which I didn't know. I figured there must have been someone in the intervening years because Booker had a run at some point, right? Like King Booker.
They don't ever have two black people in the promotion at the same time, so that's why, of course, there wasn't going to be. That's why I laughed about Bianca and Jade and Naomi. They were like, "Oh, this has never happened." I was like, "Because y'all never had three black girls in the promotion at once." So of course, this is historic.
Exactly.
You know, this is new. For y'all.
Were Jackie and Jazz ever in there at the same time?
Yes.
Yeah, but they had to,
they just
stagger them so we forget. Okay.
Yeah. I don't think they've ever crossed paths. I don't know, but yeah, they were there around the same time.
Was it a good match?
Oh, I don't know. I don't even know if they had a match together. I was just saying.
No. I mean, for Carmelo.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. It was good. I here's my thing. I don't understand why the championship match wasn't the main event. That was my main issue. But I get it. The story was hotter than the championship match. So it was a very good match. I was quite surprised that somebody from the hometown won because normally that's not a thing.
Oh, wow.
Normally, listen, they have Natty perform every time in Canada, and she loses every fucking time.
Every time. But, did it to Sasha, did it to everybody.
Yeah, but it was very, very good. This is also my first time paying attention to Carmelo Hayes wrestling for real. I didn't realize he do a lot of girl moves, but that's fine.
What you mean by girl moves?
He does the girl moves, but I guess it's because he's smaller and he can do it. But it was that pop that Trick got when he 1, 2, 3. It was loud. He was rocking the house. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was the only. Well, no, there's another issue. Like the whole ref thing. Like they kept like taking out refs. So it was like ref bump out, another ref gone, another ref, another ref.
What's the point of that?
Twas not one. I was like, oh, I could see this is a Shawn Michaels agented match, but because of the drama. However, no, shout out to Trick Williams. I was like, this is very good. I actually watched the whole thing, Stand and Deliver. I was surprised by me.
Oh, really?
Because they got me. They got me because we were just about to change the channel because it was like, oh, Rich Holland's on commentary. They done bumped him down because he keeps hurting people. But then all of a sudden, this Joe Gacy, which he should really think about changing his name.
Amen. Don't use that name.
Gacy is not a nice name. Even if it is his birth name, he might want to change it.
White people love serial killers, so
and nasty ones, quiet on the set. You know what I mean? Like, but they had Rich Holland just hit him with the chair as soon as he walked out. I was like, well, I guess I'll stay here. And the TV stayed on the Peacock all day.
What'd you think of Roxy Ed's match then? Because I started paying attention at that point, and I was like, oh wait, this girl can ball, and the finish was pretty good.
To be honest, she's had better, but
oh yeah, she has. Okay.
Yeah, she's had better matches. I was like, oh, I kind of called it as soon as I saw what was happening, and I was like, oh, okay, this is nice.
Yeah, and it was funny because at the end, Booker T is just standing up and applauding, and everybody online that didn't know was just like, why is he doing that? But he was one of her trainers, and she was a part of his promotion down in Texas. So that's why he was clapping for her, like he was like a proud father.
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
Yeah,
But,
he was he did the same thing for Trick too, all because of the fact that obviously, you know, again, Negroes in matches, we don't get that often. And I know he's trained him too, so you know, and
by
Punk,
default,
so,
trained all the black people.
Yeah. But with Trick and Mello, the story's been so good. This really highlights, like with the ref bump that XD was talking about, it kind of highlights this should have, well, we're going to talk about another match later that should have had a stipulation to it of some sort, like a blood feud. Like these guys, like it's a blood feud, like, and you're expecting this blood feud to be ended with a pinfall. It doesn't make any sense. Like you could have done a last man standing, because they do all the stuff that entails like a hardcore match. Like they were beating the shit out of each other with like sticks and chairs and shit.
And those and all that.
Yeah. So like you could have done a hardcore match, but they just didn't. And yeah. And it should have been for the championship because it would have made the most sense
right now.
A guy named Ilya Dragunov, who is the reason why Trick is where he's at, because he gave him that one match. And then now after this, Trick is going after Ilya Dragunov's belt. And
that's so bad.
Yeah, and that's gonna be cool to see. But in a way that they should have done it now instead of 2 months from now in the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, I agree, and I get that it's Carmelo's time to be called up to the main roster.
Yeah.
So I guess this was their way of ushering that, you know, like send him out. You do a job for your friend. And you know, put him on top of this promotion of this, you know, particular entity. Because to be honest, I don't even know when NXT comes on. I know it's sometime during the week, but you know,
Tuesdays. And the only reason I know that is because it's between Raw and Dynamite. The only other reason I know.
Oh, see, there you go. I wouldn't, and I forget when I legit when Dynamite come on until it's too late. So, but yeah, I enjoyed it. Like all of Stand and Deliver for the most part, I enjoyed. You know, even the little championship match with Ilya Dragunov and Tony D'Angelo. Yeah.
Tony D'Angelo is his name. He sounds like he's from some Sopranos.
That's why. Yeah, that's why the beginning of that match had him driving to the arena like it was the Sopranos.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, they
That's
come out like the Gaudis. Like it was very, they're very, and even his font and like whole gimmick is very Godfathery. So I was
Oh
like,
wow.
I get it. This is
Cute.
fine.
Not too heavy-handed at all. I get it.
No, not at all.
Now watch me waste the Macho Man with acclaimed Wrestlemania for the Nintendo Entertainment System. A leg drop, an elbow smash, a body slam! WWF Wrestlemania from Acclaim!
Ooh, yeah, I want a rematch.
All right, let's get into the meat of the show, which is night one. I think I fell over when I saw that Coco Jones was going to be there. I was like, oh my God, they're bringing more Negroes. Listen, we going to Philly. You got all these Negroes, more Negroes than we ever had on the WrestleMania card. Let's go ahead and bring Negroes to sing. So
I want to say this was the first time in 40 WrestleManias in 39 years, because they keep trying to say 40. This is the first time that we've gotten the national anthem. Because Vince don't like the national anthem. He says it's an ugly song, which it is.
It is, yeah.
This was the first time ever we got the national anthem, and we got a brand new intro. We got a new, we have superstars in the sky and being zodiac signs and Aquariuses and shit. And I was like, oh, this is new.
Because like
it's gonna be a recurring theme. He gone.
Yes, like the entire weekend from the Hall of Fame on to like now, because we're recording right before, literally a minute right before the Raw After Mania is going to come on, is essentially fuck Vince McMahon. Literally everything that they did this weekend was fuck Vince McMahon. Like at every turn, Paul Heyman, oh man, everything's so much better with Paul Levesque, is fuck Vince McMahon.
Yeah, like, I realized that because I know they told him not to say Brock, and he only not only did it twice, but really, really extra loud. And now that I'm remembering it, he didn't say Vince's name not once. Said everybody else's name, and really, really put him over. But did he even mention Vince at all? That's great.
No, and of course he kind of had to say Brock, because I mean, that's literally one of the major characters he worked with. You know, the only Vince mentioned that whole evening was Vince Senior, and people were confusing The Rock saying, "Oh, he mentioned Vince McMahon." I'm like, no, he was talking about his daddy, who was less evil.
Or maybe didn't live long enough to get to the evil. There's that.
So I'm watching the intro, and I've noticed, like, why is Sergeant Slaughter so big among these stars? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, with all the stars in the past, like, it's just like Hogan, Rock, Stone Cold, Sergeant Slaughter. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
I mean, great
military
wrestler. It's just that's the choice, not Stone Cold, not for all that. Put Bobby Heenan there,
Exactly.
It was weird.
Yeah. Let's get into the match card. Becky and Rhea were initially not supposed to go first, and the second I saw they were, I knew that Rhea was retaining. And with that whole entrance, it probably meant with distinction. It's probably going to be a quick match, which kind of makes me sad. I wanted Becky to win more so because I don't know what there is left for either of them to do. But at least Becky would have had more new things to do, with the new title, and hasn't been.
This lets me know that
for a couple years.
Yeah, this lets me know that the draft is near.
There you go.
And we're gonna do some shakeups, because until Charlotte come back and give him a big boot, I feel like Bianca's gonna make her way down to the Raw. Because she's always said that Rhea owes her a rematch, which she does.
Yeah, she's the biggest threat, and right now she's in on the show, of course.
Right, and I feel like at some point they're gonna let Jade come in and give her a big boot at some point when she learns how to wrestle a little bit more better. And so far we're okay. We're doing a little bit more work than we have been at the previous promotion. However, but I do think that Rhea needed to retain. And Becky has been doing a lot of amazing work putting the girls over. Like it's Tiffy time.
Yeah.
The other lady who just lost the match to Roxanne. I can't remember her name.
Lyra Valkyria. Yeah.
There you go. I was like, it's Lyrica, but it's not Lyrica.
Exactly. I used to do that too. All the time.
I just call her Bird Girl, and Crystal saying,
"Oh,
well,
she's
like, well, she's a Valkyrie." I'm like, I know. I just call her Bird Girl. It's fine.
Yeah,
the Bird Girl. I was like, okay, Jesus. She was the one that fought against the Prodigy, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, the one in the green makes me laugh because like every time someone's evil, they're always green.
Yes, green. There was a lot of green this weekend.
Green
I
is
thought
the
maybe
evil
that was
color.
Yeah,
like,
the logo was the
yeah.
I
actually thought that Rhea was talking to the press conference about the new wave of women after the 4 horsewomen. And Becky had already put over the new wave twice with Bianca and now Rhea, and I had forgotten about Tiffy too. So why are they making Becky do all the work of putting over the new kids?
Because I feel like she about to take a break for real. She got this book.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
her and her husband are about to sell off into the sunset for a minute.
They really should take a nice long.
And they should.
He needs one because she was. I mean, the whole thing was strep.
Yeah, she wrestled that match with 102-degree fever and strep. And it was funny because like I was at the party and I was just like, they're making a New York Times best-selling author go out there and wrestle a match with 102-degree fever and strep. Like
that's how you know Vince still lives.
I enjoy destroying lives.
Exactly.
Like, 102 degrees. You're fucking delirious at that point. I've been that sick before where you're just like, what day is it? Who am I? What's my name? Like you don't even.
Yeah. And like, honestly, I'd probably have to be that delirious to wrestle in general. Like
same. Maybe they had her on some good meds because I know there's like you can take certain ones that last about you get a 4-hour window of feeling normal before you crash. So maybe that's what she did. I don't know, but
probably.
But like I was just like 102 degrees. The fuck.
I think she'd be great for being that sick.
Yeah, you could tell she wasn't giving like 100%. I mean, she did it was a great match. But then again, there hasn't been many Becky matches that weren't great.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. And even Rhea. There's not many Rhea matches that aren't that great,
Yeah.
So I'm glad they opened. Got that out the way.
Right. Let's go ahead and do that because you know what it's gonna be.
Exactly. And again, night 2 was so much better than night 1. Not to say that night 1 was bad.
Yeah,
it was better than night 2 compared to last year when night 1 was a lot better than night 2.
Oh yeah.
I did like the fact that Becky essentially had her book on her, like her outfit was just her book.
Oh, that's what it was. I was like, what is all writing on her?
It's like there's passages of her book on her.
Oh, that's very cute.
Yeah, I didn't get it until the end either. And I was like, oh, it's her book. Got it.
I was sitting there, I was like, why do I feel like she looks like a Budweiser can? I know that's not what it is.
She looks like what's her face from Powerpuff Girls?
No,
the evil lady, not with
evil feminist lady.
Like Mr. Mojo and his lackey, like the
him. Isn't it called him?
Him. Yeah. But the other lady.
Okay.
Yeah,
I forget who. I'm old.
No,
the point is, I was like, this is giving Cartoon Network, and I thought that's what we were going with until I was like, oh, these are pages from La Book, and I was like, oh,
La Book.
Okay, La Book. We were a New York Times bestseller.
Limited number that we can ship out right now because it is very, very popular. We're going to go to the phones. Hi, you're on the air with Lisa and Kevin. What's your name?
Hi, Lisa. It's Renee from California.
Hey, Renee. Chris is over there, kind of giving us a look at how to use the ladder there.
I got to tell you something. I have this ladder. It is awesome.
Oh, now what
everybody wants this ladder. I live in an apartment with Vaulted ceilings. Uh-oh.
Okay, we're going to make sure that Chris is okay.
And that has never happened.
Well, you know, it's a very slippery floor up there in front of our doors sometimes.
Tag match. They kept saying that the main event of that evening was the biggest tag match ever. It's clearly incorrect because you had 12 people out there. You had a whole NBA team and then 2 extra.
You had the NBA team and 2 refs. So, like,
I was like, why? And then you put the note here: WrestleMania 10 was supposed to have a 12-man tag.
Yeah,
which is fine. But I looked at whatever that lineup would have been, and it's just like a bunch of dudes, extra dudes, singles guys, and a couple tag teams. At least here, it was in their effort to actually build a tag team division, which is fine. But it's still so much going on. Oh my god! Couple good spots. Waller and Theory get the SmackDown titles, and Austin Truth picks up the Raw titles. Truth hurts. Drew called the splitting of the titles like 2 weeks ago. So you got that. But the belt is still fucking ugly. I hate them. They're horrible.
I think that's their logic, because what they did last year with the belts was Rhea won the SmackDown belt.
Yeah, that was.
And then she was on Raw, and then they switched the belts. So they switched designs for the belts. So that was just the beginning of them switching the designs. So I think the tag team belt is next, and I think the IC belt might make another change.
They finally got it right.
Yeah.
This match was like, I don't like when there's way too much going on. Like, I get, like, I know in night 2 where we had Street Profits versus whoever the fuck. I get that, yeah, but it was way too many people in this match that I did not care about. Like, I will say, splitting the titles was smart.
Yeah,
I put some respect on both television programs.
Yes,
to give people some shit to fight about, even if it is tag. Rebuild the tag divisions. I also, total side note, I realized that they added a whole nother belt on NXT for women. Women's North American Championship.
Yeah.
And I was like,
mid-card belt.
Yeah, and I've been thinking about, like, why don't they do that on the main program? Like, why isn't there a women's IC title? Because there's a bunch of people just vying for this top spot, and they're not top people. So why not, give the mid-card girls, a mid-card title. You know what I mean? Like, why not?
Naomi did say that, and I think they should too. They just have to get it right. I think with this new one, they're making it for the express purpose of putting it on Julia when the time comes.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
For a long time they've needed for at least 7 years they've needed a mid-card women's belt, a women's IC. I wouldn't want to call it the women's IC. I would want some other name, because I think it deserves another name. It shouldn't just be the carbon copy of the men's belt.
Oh yeah,
something. I mean, I don't want to say girly, but like it should be like something.
It should be its women's own thing for the women's division. I agree.
Yeah.
But this particular match, I mean, it was nice that R-Truth finally became a one at a WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I think was our 53rd time champion.
Is it now?
Yeah, I mean, if you count the 24/7 champion, he won 52 times.
Yeah.
Sure. But also, he's done a lot of good work this year for his return. Comedy and wrestling is very hard to do. But let me tell you something. Tom and Nick had me in knots for like legit laughing, and it takes me a lot to laugh. So I was like, this is funny. And shout out to the Miz. Also shout out to Coral from Real World of New York, who who got him forgot him to like black people, because there was a time where he did not.
Yep, I will always remember that. I'll always remember that, because he was saying like his dad calls him disparaging names, and then his dad shows up on wrestling, and I'm like, you motherfucker.
But yeah, we
my
owe
God,
Coral.
look at her
We owe
impact.
Coral a new, put her induct her in the Hall of Fame.
He should thank her. If that man makes it into the Hall of Fame, he should thank her.
Absolutely.
Real quick, I mean, we'll get into it, but the sponsors this year again, like because
This sponsored by Dude Wipes. We had the women sponsored by Dude Wipes. I was like, this sounds off.
And then this match is sponsored by American Wheatley Vodka. And then like I did a thread on Twitter about all of the sponsorships for each match.
Now, two schools of thought where I agree, where I don't like it. Like, I didn't like that big ass Prime logo in the ring because I like Logan Paul as a wrestler. I don't like him in any other
capacity.
He's terrible in any other capacity.
Yeah, but as a wrestler,
I couldn't stand him either.
He be wrestling. That's what I
He
can
do. It's like he was built in a fucking lab to do this shit. I don't understand it. It's like, because I remember him as the dude who like lit his mattress on fire in the middle of Hollywood. Him and his brothers were irritating the shit out of their neighbors and they were teenagers. That's what I remember. And now he's like, it's like that never existed. He's always just been this guy.
He has an actual career of some sort.
No, never mind. He tried to box Floyd Mayweather. Was that the other one?
No, he fought. It
was him, right?
Floyd Mayweather.
Okay, it was him. It's
Yeah.
funny. He did that, and he was like, "Wait, what if I do the other one that's sort of like this, but more pageantry?"
But every time he wrestles now, I always think of XD and him saying he's doing girl moves.
Oh, yeah, he did a girl moves. He did a girl moves, and you see it, but he does the girl moves well. And he wrestles like Ricochet, who also does girl moves. But that's not here or there.
Wait, was it?
His swanton is better than Dana Brooks. Everybody's swanton is better than Dana Brooks.
She's been so salty about it.
Prettiest moonsault ever, Logan Paul.
He is just, it's crazy. And this is the Prime thing we're talking about that, but like, I lost it when like the Prime mascot, who was revealed to be somebody else later, was in the corner just like, oh no. Oh my God. It's like the stupid cartoon hands. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah. But like,
when they find time for his, go ahead.
I was saying, like, you can tell, like, for all the advertisements placed, right? Like, it's also a call to the way sports are now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you watch NBA or hell, even March Madness that just ended, they had a lot of sponsored content throughout.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm like, well, that's the way of sports now. Like,
yeah,
you can't even a Lakers jersey got a fucking crypto thing on it. You know what I mean?
Don't even get me started on that shit.
It's like, well, I guess I don't like it because even on AEW where they have DraftKings, which I think is stupid because you can't bet on professional wrestling. But anyway, Con. But
he's like, I'll take it.
Yeah, but I'm just like, I get it, but also, shout out to, just. And I get it. Like, you want to have sponsors that are relevant to the match, right? Like, however, you don't need a gin and juice match.
Nope.
With a bunch of Negroes. Like, you know what I mean? You don't need a Wingstop sponsorship when you have the only 3 black women in the whole entire company wrestling. What made me really pay attention, because Dude Wipes, I'm like, okay, this is odd for the first women's match, but when I saw Aguas Frescas on the thing, and it was every Latino wrestler who didn't even they were just surrounding the ring, I was like, oh, Triple H might be a little racist. Again,
tiny bit.
See, Book, that's where the confusion is. Your confusion is, see, you're not here to be a competitor. You're here to be an entertainer. That's what you do. You entertain people. Hell, you entertain me all the time. Go ahead, Book. Why don't you entertain? Go ahead. Do a little dance for me, Book.
in that match, getting back to that match, but when I'm blanking, is it Jessica Carr?
Jessica Carr.
Jessica Carr. He's yelling at Damian Priest, and he's not listening to her. And then I clocked why she was yelling at him. Like, the ladder's broken. The ladder's fucking broken. She doesn't want you to get on the ladder because the ladder's broken. The ladder's broken. And so he gets up on the ladder and it's shaky as shit. And they're trying to hold him. And so he throws that ladder out, and then R-Truth puts in a new ladder, and then he's about to get in, and then David Priest just kicks him in the face.
Yeah.
Like, thanks for your help, sucker. See you later.
Yes. Yeah. There was a lot of props that just didn't work, which ended up happening night 2 with Cable and all that good stuff. But yeah, this ladder match just had a whole bunch of shit going on. Yeah, Tyler Bates spinning that shit with Finn Balor.
Yeah.
On I say his name
for pressing all that.
Yeah. I was just like, this is, maybe I don't necessarily like furniture in the ring, but I get that's the whole point of this. I was like, well, if just fight, you don't need all of this, but I get it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Ladders. Shout out to R-Truth and the Mizzard, and the other A-Town Down Under, who nobody even really gave a shit about them when they won.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, okay.
And then they got promptly thrown off of the ladder and out of the match.
Yeah.
Hey guys, let's make a super easy and refreshing agua fresca de sandía. We're going to begin by peeling one small watermelon. Once peeled, we're going to chop it into small sized pieces and then transfer it to your blender cup. Once we have our watermelon, now we can get ready to blend. Now we're probably going to be doing this in batches because we have a lot of watermelon and we have a little cup. So to that, we're also going to be adding 1 lemon. We're going to be adding sugar, and with that, we're going to blend with 1 cup of water, since we're going to be doing it in batches. Okay, so now we're going to blend until we have a smooth juice. Okay, so now we're going to transfer it to our jar. Okay, we're just going to strain. Okay, so now we're just going to blend the rest of our watermelon with the other cup of water. So just blend until smooth. Okay, once we have it in our jar, we're going to mix it. And now I'm just going to be adding some mint leaves. But just like that, we have our delicious watermelon agua fresca.
All right, we'll move on to the Latino match. The Aguas Frescas match.
Yes, the Aguas Frescas match.
Oh God. I think at that point I was like, what are you guys doing with these sponsorships? And then it just got so much worse.
It got worse. And
I
now
wasn't super invested in it though.
I was
more
not.
entertaining than I thought. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
That was how I felt about a lot of this WrestleMania. I was like, I don't really give a shit about these matches, but I'm here and they are wrestling their hearts out. Like, shout out to y'all. I've never given a shit about LWO or they really need to bring back the Dom and Ray storyline, because that's what I was like, oh, we're finally inching back to it. I'm here for a novella, but for a novella that makes sense.
They need to up the ante then to make it a novella, to be honest with you. Like, they really have to start getting it high drama with that, though. They need to be intense.
And they were. And then I don't know what happened. I think that's when Ray got injured for real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't give a shit about Dragon Lee.
Well, they didn't either, so they got
Right?
the fuck out of there.
Yeah, I was more like, y'all could have brought Carlito in for real, and I don't, the other team, I had no idea who they were. I was like, so you're not Angel Guards. I was trying to be like, okay, who are these people? But like, it was cool for what it was. Zelina didn't take out her chancla, which I was very upset about.
Right?
I was very upset. She did not.
She might have been too cold. Goodness. I'm sure she froze.
You know what pissed me off about Night One? When every other minute Michael Cole telling us how cold it is.
Yes.
We know how cold it is. You
We all
have
have
coats
phones.
on.
We can look it up, like if we really want to
You're
know.
in Philly in
Yeah.
early April.
It's fucking cold. Yeah, like we get it.
Like we know, we get it. It's cool. You
And all those
know.
girls run around in two pieces.
Right?
You know,
All the
and
poor
tank
things.
tops. Of course they're freezing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
You know.
now there's more of a sports presentation to it. So like when that happened and he was saying the temperature and then like it feels like 48 and
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like,
I was
like,
like, we're not at the Super Bowl.
yeah, we are not. Like we pretended like it's a sport.
Yes.
But
It's
you
not that
know,
kind of
it's
sport,
not
though.
like you don't have to factor for like, oh, is the wind going to go this way? Because if so, the kicker has to angle the ball this way.
That's what he was
Yeah,
calling it like. I'm
Yeah.
like, that ain't got nothing to do with nothing, Michael Cole.
These people are out here just wrestling. That is the weather doesn't
They
do
are
anything.
just punching each other in the face. That has nothing to do with the wind.
Man, we all we got. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes.
oh my god. Anyway, hour and a half in, at this point, they already had 3 matches done. I was like, y'all are moving. You must be saving a lot of time for that main event because oh my god, it felt like it was going like that.
And I appreciated it because I was like, let's get this dog and pony show on the road. We need to finish the story. We need to get to night 2.
Thank you. Next up is a match that I was really looking forward to, and I was pretty disappointed. Jimmy and Jay. It turns out, I guess they don't work too well together in the ring. Is that Jimmy's fault?
I thought about the match and like I'm gonna cut in the match obviously while we talk. I realized that and it clicked immediately. I'm like, this match needed a stipulation. Like Mello and Trick, like if it was like a hardcore match, but you set up everything for tonight. Also, this really highlights the fact that main event Jey Uso can only really be a mid-carder, and Jimmy can only work in a tag team. That's what this fully highlights.
Yeah.
More than anything. And I'm like, oh, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Because Jay is the star, but he's a mid-carder at but Jimmy needs a tag team partner to work off.
Not great in singles.
So when you're having that type of match and it's a blood feud and a straight up match, it doesn't work because they're just kicking the shit out of each other. And then they do the spot at the end where you're just like,
Super kick party.
Oh, brother, don't hurt me. And then try to do that. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that doesn't make any sense. And also, this really highlights the fact that Jimmy going back to the bloodline is fucking stupid because Jimmy was the one that kicked Roman Reigns first.
Right?
Yeah. So this was where I was like, okay, there are some things we could do better. Here is where they needed Rikishi. They needed a special guest referee, and it should have been Rikishi. Or I agree. And brothers fighting, no one wants to see the brothers fight. Like they should be, they should have figured this out and take on the bloodline themselves, honestly. But I agree, Drew. Like, Jay is a great mid-carder. Him and LA Knight can do some things
right?
with the IC time. Jimmy is okay. Like he's in a tag team. I think he'd be great. It was very like we all saw this coming with like, oh, please forgive me. And then he turns on him in the ring.
Yeah.
I get storytelling, but it would have made way more sense if there was, like you said, a stipulation or if somebody else was there. Hell, have Nia Jax be she your cousin, somebody,
right?
Because where was she? You know what I mean? Like, honestly, the most entertaining part of their match was Lil Wayne.
Right? Yes.
Because where the fuck did that come from?
Nowhere, man.
But yeah, like it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like we could have done other things. This could have been on Raw.
It could have. It
Or it could have been, or we could have waited for another PLE. Like,
yeah.
like I get like the main thing, but another pay-per-view, this could have been on Backlash. They didn't necessarily need WrestleMania. You know, I get like on paper, I get right. Like you have twins. Oh, and first we need to go back because the production is the main star of this show. Because they have upped their production. Like it felt like a Netflix thing. Now I laughed each time there was a match because it was as corny as it was super produced well. So they had Jimmy and Jay doing like Maya Angelou type shit or whatever the fuck, like I am not my brother's keeper. And like I was like, this is fabulous.
It was.
Like I was just oh, this lets me know how this shit is gonna go.
They were clearly in the same room with each other when they did it.
Same room. Back to back, like Pebbles and Babyface.
Yeah.
In that, you never know. Like it was definitely like that.
And last but not least, who are you rooting for tonight?
I'm rooting for everybody black. I am betting on black tonight.
Let's properly get into that damage control and brown skin girls, resident negresses. They're calling themselves the big three. And I'm like, I don't seem to.
That's too new. It's too niche. Now, mind you, I get it. We could have added some other shit. We could have made damage control and I don't know, what are we calling brown skin girls.
Brown skin girls.
That should have been longer than 8 minutes. Like, you know what I mean?
Hello.
Well, I mean,
not really.
I disagree in a way, and I've said this last week, not for the fact that I don't want to see them longer, but in an actual fight, those three women would beat the shit out of damage control. Like it wouldn't even be close. It would I was shocked it went as long as it did. Like as soon as you put in Jay Cargill, like the match is done. Like,
big boot.
like what in what world can those three girls? I mean, Asuka's the only one that could hang with any of them. In what world can those three women in damage control fuck with that team? It makes no sense.
I agree. That makes sense. When you say it like that.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say is that damage control ate them up on the intro. Not gonna hold you. Like the whole kabuki thing in the end.
Yeah.
I was like, this is like Shin Young. This is the thing that I've seen. I was like, oh, I've seen this on a show, on a field trip. I know what this is. Yeah, like you said, Drew, the only thing that was believable is Asuka.
Yeah, that's the only person that can hang with them.
I love them, but their entrance though. You can see Beyonce's impact with the hat and the lighting.
They've been doing a homage to Beyonce for the last 2 weeks. They had Cowboy Carter shit on Friday. And then what they had this whole silver get up, from Renaissance.
Yes.
I was just like, oh, okay. And then they were doing different elements of Beyonce. Like we had Cowboy, we had Renaissance, and then Bianca with whatever she made for herself.
Jordy LaForge glasses.
Yeah, because Bianca makes her own gear, and we can tell. But still love her down. But it was nice to see, really nice to see that these women worked fairly well together. You can tell they're still learning each other, and that's because Naomi is the only one that's used to working with other women. Bianca is very much a solo girl, and Jay just learned how to wrestle like 3 months ago. So So we're still testing the waters. But you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I will say I was entertained, you know.
Yeah. Me too. I think that Bianca does a good job at being in a tag team when they give her the opportunity. They just often don't do it.
Yeah, because I wanted like before Charlotte turned on her, I thought her and Charlotte were good.
Right?
You know,
I was like,
that was a good team.
yeah.
But I you know, I don't know where they're gonna go next. We don't have a triple
They seem to
anything.
be like hinting at something, and obviously the tag titles are right there. They would easily give it, more importance. But how do you do it? I don't know what they're doing. It's clear they're doing something, but it's unclear why.
And, technically Naomi's still the tag champion because she never dropped the title. She just walked out with it.
Oh, true.
Yeah, that would be a good storyline. But
now, did you notice that at the top of the hour, at any hour, because Collision was on at the same time. So every star that left that AEW's promotion premiered at the top of each hour.
Really?
Jade came on at 9 p.m. Andrade came on a half hour before.
Oh, I love it. I did not.
And to end the night, Cody Rhodes showed up.
And Cody Rhodes showed up, yeah. At 10 o'clock. Yeah.
Wow. That is cute. That is so petty.
Like, I get like she ended up misting Kyrie. I hate the whole spray and mist. They did a lot of spitting on night one. I was like, COVID is dead.
Especially in that cold, like you get a cold.
Right? Yeah.
Hepatitis A through J, whatever the fuck. And niggas was spitting on each other. It was gross.
Yeah, it is funny that they're just like, let's do this. And I'm like,
They're
there's a
back
lot of
to
stuff
getting
you
as
can
good
catch
as
still.
possible.
Yes.
There's a whole lot of stuff you can catch out there still.
A lot of stuff. I was like, this is nasty, friends.
I thought it was a well executed match, personally.
Sponsored by Wingstop.
And I had Wingstop we had Wingstop delivered, and all of a sudden the match came on, and it was like sponsored by Wingstop. It was like, oh, guess who's clairvoyant in this motherfucker?
Is the star of the blockbuster McBain movies, but here's his first appearance in a commercial in his native Austria.
Mein Bratwurst has a first name, it's F-R-I-T-C. Mein Bratwurst has a second name, it's S-C-H-N-A-C-K-E-N-P-F-E-F-F-E-R-H-A-U-S-E.
Let's move into Gunther and Sammy, also sponsored by Dude Wipes. Wash your ass. Oh my God.
Here we had a match.
Thank you. Some wrestling.
We had a match.
Always brings it.
I was in here with my partner Chris Rogers, and he was like, "No, Gunther's gonna retain," and I was like, "I don't know, friend. I don't see it. I think Sammy, of all people, it should have been Chad Gable."
What should have been Chad? Yeah, true. But why did you bring it? Like, what was
because it's time for Gunther to get a real title. Well, not say a real title, but the world heavyweight title.
Yeah.
Like, he is way too good and way too dominant. He's beat everybody.
Yeah.
Like, what else? The only thing he could have done was like, well, I'm leaving because I beat everybody. So here y'all go.
Well, this is boring. I'll see you guys later.
Yes.
The only thing I was that's probably maybe opening up for him was to have like a feud between him and Ludwig, who I'm still not sure if he's a Nazi or not, but because he looked
they're all
the
wrestling
part.
Nazis.
Yeah, he
like
very true, but he looked the part, if you know what I mean.
That assumption anyway.
But yeah, it was very heartwarming with all the people. And I knew he was gonna win because I was like, his wife is there, and y'all not gonna let this man lose in front of his wife twice.
Exactly.
Like y'all don't hate him that much, you know?
Yeah. You don't hate anybody that much, probably.
Was it who someone said they said someone's wife has resting concern face? Resting sad
Yeah,
concern face.
Probably.
we were at a party
Yeah.
and somebody said that. It's
Resting
like
concerned face. I love that.
but Khadijah, which is hilarious to me that his wife is named Khadijah.
Yeah, Khadijah. You have Michael Cole saying Khadijah. That's
like,
a wonderful thing.
But this is one of those moments where you know Vince is gone, or Kevin Dunn, the guy who did the production for a long time, is gone, because that shot is one of the best shots they've ever done, because it starts off with Sammy talking to Khadijah and his son. He tells her like, do not show him this match, and he called him Baba, and like that was his name for his dad. Then he meets up with Gable, and Gable is just like, hey, I'm not gonna go out there with you. I can give you everything I need. Good to go. And then Sammy's just like, well, all right. And so he's just trying to pump himself up. Right as he turns that corner, he sees Kevin. And then Kevin, and Kevin's just like, and then like smacks him in the face because, you know, those guys have been friends for near 20 plus years. And then he comes out, and it's all one shot too. And it's like a 2.5 minute shot. And that would never happen months ago.
Come on,
now
since
you know he's gone, they're just like, oh, okay, we could just make it like a sport. And now they're getting away from the term sports entertainment, which is they're talking about like wrestling, and like when we get to it, Michael Cole at the end says, I love professional wrestling, and that for a long time was a big no-no. You could not say that, like,
because
Vince McMahon
didn't want to pay people.
Yeah, exactly. Vince McMahon literally created the term sports entertainment to make all of his professional wrestlers 1099 employees. That's why that is 100% the reason why.
Yeah,
and didn't have to pay the wrestling commission.
Exactly.
And also, if you're performing live in that capacity where you technically could be considered an actor, like people who work at theme parks get to be in SAG because they are live performers. So, and that's everyone who does. To me, that's because they're not calling it like it's not a sport, but they are on television. They are adopting personas. You could pretty well argue they should be able to claim those hours and be unionized. But we know why they didn't get to do that.
Yeah, that and that's why Vince ended up owning all of their stuff, because so he didn't have to do that and didn't want to pay all the taxes that come with each commission and all that good stuff. And now TKO is $900 billion company or whatever. It's a lot of fucking money. Like they can afford to do that, you know.
And they
it's kind of like how AEW, how Tony Khan has allowed them to, it's like a legit company. He runs it like Google, but whatever. But you know, like they're like employees, and you know they have stuff going on. You know what I mean? Like it should be.
Yeah.
Like that's the one thing I will give them. It's like they treat them with respect on the business end, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yes. Gunther and I knew he was going to lose or relinquish the belt, because they did not, Ludwig and the other one did not go down with him.
Yeah.
Like it was sad and like ominous. I was like, I feel it. This ain't, you know, this ain't gonna be a retaining type of situation.
Yeah, and a couple weeks ago, I had mentioned that the commentary said that Sami Zayn was fasting because of Ramadan. And I'm like, this man is going to be in the hardest match ever in his life during Ramadan. He has to win.
Yeah.
And then once he hit his finisher from the Indies on Walter, which is that top rope brainbuster, which people thought he messed up. But like, if you know about, you know, his past, his past being El Generico, you know that was one of the moves they use, and it's a banned move. So, you know, once again, fuck Vince McMahon. That's the theme of this weekend.
Oh, women like you, they're a dime a dozen. You can buy them anywhere. But my dead body. So get out while you can. Cause you ain't woman enough to take my man. Woman enough to take my man. You bitches, listen up, cause you ain't woman enough to take my man. Not my man.
But we move on to the actual biggest tag team wrestling match ever. Someone pointed out that Cody looks like Homelander, and I was like, oh, that's what it is. For the longest time, I've been like, what did he fucking remind me of? And it's the fucking creepy guy from The Boys.
Yeah.
With the
yeah.
right? Mm-hmm.
And then, because that was the first night, but then, no, wait, the first night was the one where I said it looked like any minute he was going to be like, the British are coming.
Yes.
That was the first night. The second night, not
Cody
so much.
Rhodes
More
Wild
Homelander.
Ride.
Yes.
Second night, I was like, second night, I
Homelander.
was like, oh, Cubone from Pokemon.
Cubone from Pokemon.
That's what it was. That's what reminded me of something.
Like,
God.
yeah, because like as soon as I saw it, I'm like, for night 2, and we'll talk about it. But like, oh, it's this logo. But why does it look kind of comical?
Yeah, I didn't put together that it was his logo. I was like, oh, Cubone bone.
Yeah, that first
Oh
night.
my God.
That's what I what did I say, Drew? I said it's the British are coming ass outfit. That's what I think.
Yes. It's British coming ass outfit.
Hear ye.
Exactly. I said just put a golden tricorn hat and it would have been complete.
Yeah.
Like it would have been perfect.
Yeah.
My gosh, someone should get him a golden tricorn now to wear. Oh my God.
It did not look bad.
Rock was probably like, I will not be part of a main event that's not the length of a feature film.
Oh God.
We don't have to spend 20 minutes coming out.
It was 30, 40, however long. It was like an hour of entrances. It was like,
oh no,
you timed it.
Yeah, I timed it.
You had a stopwatch going the whole time.
And I had the stopwatch going. So from the beginning of the promo for the match to everybody coming out, it was 25 minutes and 48 seconds. Like,
wow,
this is
on there.
that
early up
is
the card,
the
that was
length.
like 3 matches.
That's the length of a sitcom.
Mm-hmm.
Like sitcoms are 22 minutes. That's the length of a sitcom on a streamer. That is long.
Yeah, you're sitting there. You're like, so
bless them.
When's it starting? When's it starting? When's it starting?
And it's like, because you know their interest. The only thing I stuck, because of course I had to, The Rock. I was like, okay, Cody's entrance in the beginning, like his thing never really varies. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I had to watch what Seth had on because, king of fashion.
Listen, yes.
Met Gala Seth.
Yes, he is
that
a
one.
risk taker. He is an innovator. He knows when to wear and when to not. Visionary.
Mm-hmm.
I wish his wife would get on the same train, but it never works.
One of them's got to be the pretty one, okay? And it's him.
Yes. He got that shit on.
He does. Even that weird shit he wore that night, I was like, what is going on here? I kind of like it though.
Yeah, on night 2, yeah, it was weird.
His
But
big rod skirt.
but what made me chuckle, I was like, oh, The Rock is an uncle for real. Because it was a whole bunch of unnecessary titles. It had such and such loading, such and such final boss complete. I was like, oh, we ventured into Uncle Rock, Uncle Dwayne.
Uncle Dwayne.
Because I was like, what is this final boss? This is ridiculous. So dumb. And I had to think, I was like, this is like Spice Adams type uncling going on, right? Like I'm gonna whoop you, and all this
Oh,
stuff,
with the belts.
and
Oh, Lord.
with all this unnecessary Versace on. I was just like, this
The
is
Versace. It killed me. His vest with his pants.
The flare. The flare.
The flares.
I personally thought it would have been better because Seth Rollins basically wears something to get under the skin of somebody. So if you really want to get under the skin of somebody, he should have dressed like The Rock did in the Survivor Series when he first premiered, like in that blue weird outfit.
Oh, wow.
I thought he should have done that, but it is what it is. He dressed up in kind of the Brahma Bull type color, so
That's such a good idea. Probably no one thought of it. Rock actually came ready to work, though. He did a lot more than I thought he would. He took his own move through in the town's table. I was like, okay.
I was surprised. I was like, this man's taking a lot of risks at
he actually came to wrestle.
Oh no, I agree. First of all, justice for the Spanish announce table.
Always. I was upset.
Always,
I was like, wow.
Every PLE, it's always their table.
No respect. No respect for the Spanish announcers.
And I will say, again, like to your point, Crystal, like shout out to The Rock taking a bump, like taking the rock bottom on the announcer's desk. Like that was some good for you, sir. Good for you. I loved the match itself was predictable, but
yes, a slobber knocker, but a predictable one.
Yeah, but there was in the crowd, you had the double camera picture in picture of The Rock and Seth all the way over here, and Cody and Roman all the way over here. Like it was like, again, production was on it. I enjoyed it. Again, I didn't understand the sponsorship here. American Home Loan Service, whatever. I was like,
your washing machines?
Yeah, I was like, this is not even credit one, not like how they spell out that credit card, so it's every SmackDown and Raw, not Snickers.
They were gonna bring down the house, so if you need to bring down the house, you need to put some insurance in that motherfucker. So that's why America Home.
Yeah, but it seemed like so local, like you know what I mean? Like it was like
it did. It does have that feel. Yeah.
Like it wasn't like State Farm or Farmers or nothing. This was like some Philadelphian type insurance.
Some local jingle nonsense.
Yes. Like commercials they only air at 11 o'clock in the morning. That type of thing.
And the ones where it's like they always have like whoever owns whatever they're advertising is in the commercial. And they have their own little jingle. Like I'll never forget, because I used to live in New York State. I lived like way upstate. So there was a guy that had a really, I guess, big car dealership. And he was like, come on down because it's huge. Huge. He did that all the time. Huge. And I was like, oh my God, local commercials are the best. I see what you're saying. Very like
it gave very much local
commercials.
Yeah, that match was weird. I mean, we knew it was going to be weird because it has to be unnecessary, because like they have to make it seem like a 52-year-old man could do a lot of these things. So he had to look like the most dominant person. I think during one of his moves, he almost just like fucked up his like he fell down at the same time, and it looked like he fucked himself up. And we're just like, okay. Rock.
I feel like we were all concerned. All of us were watching this, like, please don't hurt yourself. Like, we understand you're in great shape.
Scorpion King.
But like, I don't know. I feel like that's the kind of thing that asking somebody in their 50s to do is asking quite a lot. I don't care like how great shape.
I mean, well, I don't know. Flair took a bump like 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah, because he kept saying that he's been training for 10, 12 weeks. And of course, showing how much money he has. He was like, I've been flying in wrestlers in to train me.
Right.
I've had rings built in Hawaii and LA and Atlanta, wherever he's working. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we get it. And like I know like a lot of athletes have like traveling gyms. Like I know LeBron has a traveling gym. But like we get it, sir. Like you have, awards, you have money. But it was just like, 10 to 12 weeks. Okay.
We were making
At
jokes about
52.
him tearing something for weeks. I'm happy he did it. It
I
reminded me
hope he did not.
I
because I was mad seeing
I just have
him
to
start
imagine.
taking any bumps on concrete. I was like, I don't need to see that.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, like, hopefully muscle memory kicked in a lot, and that's probably what happened.
Yeah,
Because muscle memory will do that for you.
Yeah.
There's things that your body just goes, oh, we'll do this, and it'll be fine. But
Because I will say, towards the end, The Rock was cooking. Like he that's where the muscle memory came in. It was like, oh yes, I did used to do this 20 years ago. You know what I mean? Like yes, which ended up happening, in night 2. But it was very much, and this also set up like what you can see for beef with more bloodline stuff, because I see it in my head, Rock versus Roman at Backlash. Or even SummerSlam, because the fact that like, because we were talking in here like, well, who's gonna take the pin? You can't pin The Rock. You can't let Cody take a pin, because then he looks fucking weak for the next night. Seth is a champion. You know what I mean? Like Roman's a champion. What is we gonna do? So, when it came to, like, no, let me take the pin, and The Rock took the, pinned Cody, right? I was like, oh, okay. Why would you give him the pin? So I could see how this is we gonna have a little conflict,
Yeah.
later
Down the
on.
line.
And maybe that happens, tonight on Raw. But
Oh, I hope so. Yeah.
Like, one of the things I really did like was when Roman goes to the spear and it hits The Rock, and just like he's doing some top level acting. Like that is one of the best
sold it like
sells.
death.
It's like,
Like, did he spear Parkinson's into you? That's crazy. Like he sold that shit like I am wounded. Like there is it was theater. But also shout out to taking a spear at 52. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, exactly. Like I feel like he had to be in an ice bath the next day for sure. Just or immediately after. I don't know. Like
yeah, I can't imagine like yes, you in it, the adrenaline gives you all the lubrication your joints needs, but come tonight.
Yeah, tonight it's terrible.
You're
Every
gonna
time
have
I
to
saw
soak.
the acting though, it was like my brain kept saying, "This is just like when they flop in soccer. It's ridiculous and overdone." It's like I'm on the ground and I'm in pain.
Oh yes, you gotta sell
All
it
of
to
them. I
make
love
sure.
it.
Yeah, even in NBA with LeBron being dramatic, it'd be like a finger tap, or he'd fall over. He'd be like, "Oh my
I
gosh!"
do love that about sports.
At the end of the match, when Cody eats the pin and then he gets up, it's literally the same shot from last year.
Right. Yeah.
That what is I ever to do? Like, but
Michael Cole's like, he's screwed. I'm like, oh no.
I'm like, God damn, Michael Cole. Like, Michael Cole was having a ball this week. Like, this is his second WrestleMania without the constraints of Vince McMahon. Like, first year, it's like, a couple, like, the first couple weeks, you're just like, I don't know how to, navigate this. But, the next night, man, fuck this. That's bullshit. I can't believe that happened. And then Pat McAfee is just cursing on air. And it's just like,
oh, they said, this is pay-per-view. We don't need to worry about censors right now.
There's a lot of cussing, yeah. Even Mama Rhodes, you heard her say it's bullshit real loud too.
Yeah.
That part is awesome because in that scene when that happens, the commentary is just like, I can't believe he's talking to Mama Rhodes, such a classy lady, as she is saying, "You're bullshit."
Yeah. There was a lot of family involvement. Even Trick Williams back at NXT, Trick Williams'
Yes.
daddy was involved in it was like, whoop that nigga. But like it was like involved in the whole thing. I love when the family's in on the work, you know,
Yes.
Right?
when it
Yeah.
makes sense.
When it makes sense.
Yeah.
But I definitely agree. There was a sense of like Vince is gone, and I can, and Triple H has assured me that I'm not gonna get fired. So I could be more comfortable and call this, you know, of course Michael Cole did what he usually does and over explain things. Because he tends to do that. But this is why I'm glad Pat McAfee is there. To be like, stop watching that, stop reading the thing and watch what's happening like right here.
Yeah.
And you know,
Be
and
in
Corey
it.
Graves, you know, is there.
Also
He's
there.
great at what he does. And you know what? The biggest part of the thing about this whole thing in this match was like Seth wasn't even really like that much of a factor. You know what I mean? Like
No.
I can remember a lot of Cody's work in this match. I don't remember a lot of Seth's work in this match.
I just think that it was fun for what it was, and you know, you're supposed to leave like, oh man, whatever is Cody Rhodes going to do? I can't believe this Caucasian African American man with this terrible neck tattoo is just going to, you know, how's he going to win tomorrow? And it just
All the
it's
chips are
leading,
down.
leading you into what we're about to talk about next, which you know is
The end
not
of Infinity War.
which leads us
Which they
into
have been
night two.
teasing for years. You know,
Yeah.
this Infinity War. But yeah, that was night one.
Yeah.
They lost and saw that coming.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fine. They don't even remember. Those guys are cool. This is gonna be bad.